Do we create our own gods? And if so, how do we get beyond them?
Well, we create our own gods and demons, and we create our own minds and the effects of the mind. So we create everything. Right? It's called the function of self-creation. Right? And then we can call it self-created delusions, right? Self-created suffering, self-created neuroses, self-created psychoses, all of it self-created. And self then implies what we're willing to be identified with, so, unconsciously or consciously, because the mind is perceiving through the eyes and through the senses. And so it's what we're creating by virtue of what we're allowing to be identified with. So the God is your imagination. It's got to be imagination, right? You're calling God something you imagine. You know what it is, or you know what it could be in your case. It's not everyone's going to agree with your imagined God, and we may not agree with someone else's imagined God. So it's really about what the self projects, creates, perceives, and makes real to itself. So you have to believe it to make it real. Maybe it is real, and maybe you don't even believe it because it's so real. Like hard times. It's like, wow, whoa, these are so hard. I don't believe it. I can't believe I'm going through this right now. So, comment on that.
Would that mean that we end up, in a sense, worshiping our own imagination?
If you tend to worship or destroying, worshiping or tearing down your own imagination, which is what you're thinking and feeling, so it's got to be coming from you, right? Your own inner movie screen, your own Hollywood movie theater, right? Your mind, your self-mind, yeah, always. High and low, good and bad, it's all what's in your cabeza, your empty box.
Should we be trying to expand our imagination in that case?
Well, it depends on, what the extent of your need is. If you're talking about goodness, you better start imagining some goodness, whatever that is. Now, of course, that's relative to the individual's karma. So we're not going to go as far as saying, well, we know that Joe Blow's goodness is as good as Mary Doe's goodness. So, we don't know that. So until we know the contents of the mind, or the inner flavor, the character of the individual, we don't know if we want to share anything with them. We don't know if it's worth sharing anything with people we don't know, so to speak. If you have a sense of knowing who the character is and the soul is of the being, and you say, no, this is a good being, this is a good soul, and you want to share that, maybe you can benefit from sharing with their good soul, their kind soul, right. Their loving soul, their sweet soul, as it's called.